Let's talk about the AFC. Patriots at Broncos. Bias plus score 5.5 favors the Patriots, Benny. The AFC Championship. You can see that the Patriots have an average, they're ranked second in average net points, where the Broncos ranked seventh. So they 5.2 for the Broncos, 10.3 for the Patriots. And they also had a slightly better average turnover differential. So the numbers, just based on everything they've done so far, favor the Patriots.
Right. Okay, so the number 2 seed was the New England Patriots. They took out the Houston Texans 28-16 to advance to the AFC Conference Championship. Now, most of this stuff I talk about when we talk about the previews and all this of the upcoming games, these are the things that I consider when I'm thinking about who I think is going to win the game and why they're going to win the game. So, as awesome as we all agree that the Texans defense has been all season, especially in this last 10-game win streak that they had, the run game's been pretty iffy. It wasn't terrible during the season. I mean, they did win 10 games in a row, but it wasn't great. It wasn't even really very good. It was shaky. And the lack of that run game allowed the more complete team, which was the Patriots, to pressure C.J. Stroud unmercifully, and he folded like a lawn chair. He really did. Patriots defense took full advantage, 3 sacks, multiple hurries, 6 tackles for loss, a fumble recovery, and 4 interceptions. When you have nothing to pull out of your bag but your arm and your number 1 receiver is hurt, this is what happens. They stuffed him. They snuffed him. He folded like a lawn chair, like I said. It was awful. Oh, yeah, one of those 4 interceptions was a pick 6. Drake May, on the other hand, didn't have his best game either. He threw 1 pick. He lost 2 fumbles, but he also connected on 3 touchdown passes, and he contributed, along with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, to total 105 yards on the ground, numbers that the Texans couldn't even come close to. That was the difference. Solid D, solid run game. Get the takeaways, put up points, win the game. Now, they're going to play the Broncos. They're going to have to go to Denver. Denver is the number 1 seed. They hosted the Bills. And yes, Josh Allen, Superman, was in the building. However, the weight of carrying his team finally took its toll. He delivered winning passing stats. If you look at his numbers, they look pretty good, actually. And he helped James Cook total 183 yards on the ground. So they had the run game going. But he fumbled the ball 3 times. He lost 2 of them. And he threw 2 picks. The last one was in overtime. And that led to Denver's game-winning field goal. So, yeah, you can't turn the ball over. We know that. But you also have to defend the other team. You have to protect your quarterback, and you have to get after the other quarterback. And they weren't able to do that. Denver pulled out the win. Now, Denver will be at home, but my man Beau Breeze is injured. He's got a broken bone in his ankle. So we got to go to Jarrett Stidham. That's a major factor in picking this game. I like both these teams. I like the way both teams are coached. I like the way both teams play. I think the Broncos defense is a little bit more accomplished than the Patriots defense. And in fact, the Patriots defense showed me a few little holes along the way against the Texans. Even though it seemed like they dominated the game, they didn't the way I expected them to. And by the way, like you said, the talking heads on TV, they all were picking the Texans. I did not hesitate to take the Patriots, if I remember correctly. But anyway, if Nick Foles can do it.
Oh, my God. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. First of all, let me just say this real quick. Speaking of the talking heads, they have mentioned that some of them are thinking that a Jarrett Stidham is equal to a Drake May.
Okay, I'm not mad at him.
You're not mad at? Okay, you
No.
go along with that? You think so?
The Patriots drafted Jarrett Stidham to take over for Tom Brady. That was the original plan. Jarrett Stidham is not a stiff. Jarrett Stidham can play. He's got some wins on his resume.
Why
Now,
is
he
he
hasn't
not a starter in the NFL as badly as they need quarterbacks?
probably because Denver would never let him go.
Well, what you call him did grab him real quick, but he wasn't on anybody. He wasn't, competing at a, with any team, competing with any team to be their starter. But Sean Payton apparently really likes him and snatched him right away.
Sean
Spotted
Payton
him up
does.
right away.
He
So
does really like him.
He's been there from day one. Interesting thing about the Patriots, especially with the conversation about their strength of schedule, and a lot of people said they had one of the easier strengths of schedule. And in a way, I think that it's almost like having the ability to just continue to improve your game, because the competition isn't that great. You know what I mean? So it's almost like practice. You know what I mean? You can do some things that maybe you couldn't do and work on some things and really tune that game up a little bit. And I think that's what I see about the Patriots. They're finely tuned team. They struggled a little bit against that Texas defense, but who doesn't? The fact that they struggled a little bit and didn't get swamped is almost a major accomplishment because of how really awesome that defense is, that Texas defense is. I mean, they just, well, were they the number one defense, I think, for points?
They were the number one defense for points and yards, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So only because of, they do.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how good you are. If you keep giving the ball back to the other team, eventually they're going to score on you.
Well, that's true. I mean, and obviously the Texans gave it back more than, they did. They
That's
struggled.
correct.
I mean, their offense showed the effects of having to step up and play that better grade of defense, I do believe. And so people looked at the Patriots and said, well, they didn't do this. They didn't look real great. But if you beat the Texans and you don't get swamped by that defense, I think that's a major accomplishment. So I just think that they're like a really good team. You know what I mean? If you need a five and out, they can complete that. They don't have to necessarily do something super duper. They can stay within the realm of a fundamental, strong football team. And that's what I think Rabel has pretty much brought there. Much less that they're a tough team, and all of that kind of good stuff. So they will hit you. And I'm still, I just, one of my favorite guys is Ramondre Stevens. So I guess I'm a bit biased because he picked up a nice award, I do believe, for a season, one of the season awards recently. So Ramondre Stevens is a beast. In any event, did you come to a conclusion yet?
Who had the bias?
Patriots.
I'm picking Denver.
And you're going to go with Jared Stidham.
That's correct.
And the Denver Broncos.
That's right. Oh, I know what I got checked.
Over your coach of the year.
Yes.
Over your coach of the year, much less. Man.
I believe in Sean Payton.
You believe in Sean Payton? Over your coach of the year, much less. All right.
They did have the easier schedule.
All right. No problem. No problem, man. Ben's going against the bias, going with the Denver Broncos.